Wait, don't skip. I've got something crazy to show you. If you like simulator games, you're gonna love this. After a year of development, I just launched my very first game, Water Park Simulator. It just launched today, and in this game, you can create, design, and manage your own water park. You get to build enormous slides that you can even ride yourself, hire staff to help you, and also troll your guests. Yeah, we added a boxing glove. The game has deep
Hey Brian, hey, wanna go out and get some gluten-free pizza? I'm gluten-free now, but you know I'm not gonna be annoying about it, do I? Oh, we should be gluten-free together. Let's go to Whole Foods and buy a bunch of stuff from that weird aisle nobody else goes down. I got plans, I'll see you later. Sure, maybe another time. I didn't seem too desperate, right? Don't answer. It's just that Brian's been so distant lately, and we used to be inseparable. How are you doing? I saw a scary boy doing this and I thought I'd try it. Alright, have fun. I'm late. Late? But I thought you and I could hang out and maybe watch Lois shush Peter while I watch Nashville. Maybe another time, Stewie. Here he goes again. He's being so standoffish. I don't understand. We used to be that happy. Wait a minute. Joe and Bonnie never used to spend time together until they had Susie. Having a baby seems to have made them closer. Babies save relationships. That's it, Rupert. That's how Brian and I are going to improve our relationship. We're going to have a baby. Alright, I want tonight to be perfect. I'm gonna lay it all out for Brian why we should have a baby together. Please sit. You okay? I'm terrific, and that is so sweet of you to ask. You really are a natural caregiver, aren't you? Do you mind not texting? Sorry, just finishing right now. Almost done. They're all finished right now. There. Sorry, work is not work. It'll just take a second. This isn't fun for me, watching you text. No, this is great. Yum. But I gotta go. I have a date. This is serious, Rupert. I'm losing him. If we're going to fix this relationship, we need a baby, and we need it now. I'm just going to take a little bit of his DNA, and soon we'll be proud parents. Alright, Rupert, the fertilization device is complete. This will impregnate me with a child that will bring Brian and me back together. Now I just have to get into the machine, and then the machine does whatever it has to do to me in order to successfully impregnate me. We do not judge the machine, we do not judge Stewie. You're gonna watch me get pregnant. I wanna look at you when it happens. Yeah, you watch me, bitch. What is that? I smell pee. Yes, you do, Brian. Oh my god, that thing's positive. His egg is pregnant. You're getting warmer. What? What have you done? I think you mean, what have we done? What? Brian, we're pregnant. Oh my god, you're pregnant with our baby. How did this even happen? Simple. I took your DNA and inserted it into my temporary uterus through my fertilization device. Oh my god, you're serious. So you have to get rid of it. Get rid of it. You know, why don't you just say it? Say the word, Brian. I want to hear you say it. Abortion, abortion. Is it dead? You hit me. What kind of monster hits a pregnant toddler? If you ever lay a finger on me again, I'll burn you in your bed. Could you do that now, please? You look ridiculous like that. Not too ridiculous for you to put a baby in me. Okay, really, I'm Dr. Hartman. You look a little young. How old are you? 13, 14, 15. But he didn't force himself on me. I wanted it to. Well, that's the important thing. That's odd. Your vagina seems to have a penis and 2 testicles. Oh, right. I sneezed real hard and all that came out. Now that explains it. But from strictly eyeballing you, I'd say everything was fine. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, Brian, did you have any questions for the doctor? Yeah, are there a lot of stairs in this building? And what kind of feet can fit into these shoes? Your feet. That's getting old, you know. You better go on board with this. I like these. These are good. Very classic. Let's get a few candids. Dad, can I get one of your head on the belly? Dad, I just got emotional. What are you looking at? Go push your buttons. My husband will kick your ass. Stop saying I'm your husband. Hello? Brian, I need you to take me to the hospital. Why? My water just broke. Oh my god. We're too late. Pull out. It's starting to come out. Of where? I'm not sure exactly. Oh god. Oh god, it's coming. Oh, can you see the head? I don't know where to look, but maybe you should look at the bottom of me when there's a baby coming out. Oh, careful, don't get anything on it. Seats. Oh god, I think another one's coming. I don't see it. I think it's coming out of my mouth. There's more. They're coming out of everywhere. Kill me. This hurts too much. What is happening? I don't know. Brian, save the placenta. You don't have a placenta. Whatever comes out, save it. I want to eat it. Oh god, they're crawling all over me. How many are there now? 4, 5, 6, 7. Muzzle tov. I just put Jack and Rose down for their nap, and I'm trying to keep the more attractive ones in this area. Look, Brian, that one looks just like you. Well, you know what? I guess he does. Oh, Dick really likes you. I like Dick. Ah, you like Dick. His name's not Dick, you idiot. It's Finn. Hey, stop squirming in there. This one's bones all feel loose. I think that one is blind. We'll have to get him these sunglasses. Right, because dog head, human ears over here doesn't react to anything I say. Hey, you. Okay, this one is deaf. I can't take this anymore, Stewie. I'm sorry, I gotta get out of here. You're leaving me alone with these things. The whole point of this was for us to spend more time together. What are you talking about? The whole point of what? Well, you've been so distant lately. I thought if we had a baby, it would bring us closer together. What? I was only distant because you've been so moody lately. I thought you needed more space. I always want to hang out with you. I was only moody because you were so distant. I always want to hang out with you too. Oh my god. We didn't have to do any of this. I guess not. How attached to them are you? Not at all. Yeah, me either.
serii budowle z rumiankowego papieru za 6,95 wieża Babel. I nektarynki 3,89 kilo. Obcojęzyczni. Nektarynki. Tesco dla ciebie, dla rodziny.
Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bomb is shaped like a deer. DUI, how about you die? It seems you're out of luck. Rock.
Before I get into the plot of Death Stranding, I want to get into the lore. There was a cataclysmic event called the Death Stranding, so now there are invisible ghosts called BTS. BTS come from the beach, which is a link to the afterlife. People can't see BTS with a bridge, baby, or BB, which is a baby, and enjoy that it's neither alive nor dead. You play as Sam Porter Bridges, who transports cargo from one place to another for a company called Bridges. Sam has a condition called dooms that allows him to sense BTS through his skin. Sam is also a repatriate, which means he can't come back from the dead. Also, the BTS have made it so that rain age is stopped. This is called time fall. Between the time fall and the BTS, nobody goes outside. Hence the need for porters. I think Kojima predicted COVID a few months before it actually started. He's a genius and a psychic, I tell you. Oh, and did I mention that this game is a hiking simulator that Kojima calls a strand type game?
Luigi, let's go get some burgers.
Oh, I don't know, Mario. I've never been to Burger King.
This is my favorite
Oh,
place.
wow,
Just
this
see
burger
burgers.
is good. I'm not gonna eat this one.
Wait, Luigi, no, don't eat that shit. Luigi,
Oh, Mario, that was a
Mamma
very
mia.
good burger.
I feel quite ill at my stomach, brother.
Oh, I got to go take a shit. Oh, yahoo, sweet relief. Wait.
Wow, I'm taking a shit, nigga.
No, this cannot be.
Hey,
The Sahara is a lot bigger than you think. If you theoretically had to walk from one end to the other, it'd be farther than hiking from Maine to Washington. Imagine a giant sandbox the size of the United States that barely anybody lives in. That's the Sahara. The existence of this desert is not really given much thought. It's an ocean of sand. And just like any ocean, historically the people that learned to sail it made use of it, and those that couldn't stayed on the shoreline. The Sahara apparently goes through dry and wet periods. Every 20,000 years or so, rain comes back to North Africa. The Sahara wasteland transforms into a prosperous grassland. Then soon the region dries back up again and the desert returns. What we live in is a dry period. Ever since humans have had agriculture, we've never seen a green Sahara. But there is evidence 9,000 years ago, there were many people that did. They lived and prospered here. When the rains went away in the span of only 2 centuries, it was basically the apocalypse for them. Their homeland was dying, and all life migrated to greener pastures as the desert returned. But what if in an alternate timeline, it didn't? What if the Sahara never dried up, and instead we see a fertile North Africa today? Cody, you say, this is quite scientifically inaccurate. The Sahara turned into a desert because the rains disappeared due to the Earth's axis, and to that, Jimmy, I agree with you. This is simply a thought exercise. Not every single climate factor needs to be brought up. I just really wanted to imagine the world. So just take it in, I guess. This video is going to be a lot more general than I usually do. This is more involving historical themes like river civilizations than specific historical events. And so don't imagine I think my ideas are the only path that could have happened. This is spanning a big distance of time and land. So think of this as fun with maps, and my personal best guess into what I think could have happened. That's all. Also, special thanks to Sean McKnight for his fantastic map involving a green Sahara, which was the major inspiration for the topic. This map is what I'm basing my scenario in my maps on, so check out his page in the link below. Let's go back to an alternate 7000 BC. The rain always pours down in the Sahara, and the region simply doesn't dry up. You could imagine great rivers flowing into massive freshwater lakes larger than the Great Lakes. Let's call them, Lake Chad, Lake Fazan, Lake Maghreb. Deeming these lakes does a bit of a disservice to them. These freshwater bodies are more like seas, like the Caspian Sea. Just like it was thousands of years ago, villages dot the coastal waters. If you want to imagine how this green Sahara looks, don't think it would be a lush tropical rainforest. It'd probably be very flat and covered in grass, pretty much like the savannas of today or the Great Plains. Cave art depicted animals like elephants, giraffes, and rhinos all living in this region. The Sahara isn't simply one big flat dust bowl, it has large mountain ranges and plateaus, so these ranges, rivers, and lakes would split up the huge American-sized region into various smaller parts. So who are the people that would be living in this area? Well, upon further research, this region wouldn't be European or Arabic or even Sub-Saharan African. Instead, the people in this alternate timeline are a mixture of all three groups, creating a middle group between other regions. Let me explain. It's theorized that modern Berbers are a genetic mix of all three continents. During the wet periods in the Sahara, each time the region was green, it influenced Europeans or Asians or Africans to migrate into it, changing or contributing to the genetic makeup of the area each time. So in this alternate timeline, I'd imagine the people in this alternate Sahara would resemble modern-day Berbers, even if they aren't Berber. And going south, the people would have more sub-Saharan African features. I'd imagine the Sahara like India today, made up of multiple different ethnic groups and even races. The further south you go, the darker the features are. Most people would live around rivers and these lakes, creating cultural regions perhaps separate from one another. Just like any other region in the world, I'd imagine city-states could pop up. Now remember,
Grammarly helps me get the best grades possible while depleting the least amount of hours of my week. I'm Lauren Taylor, I'm a student in Future CMO, and I am a Grammarly user. Grammarly's AI Compose can help me narrow down what to write about. I can, in 15-20 minutes, have a decent outline of what I'm going to be writing over the next week or two. Grammarly is tailored with writers in mind. If, as a student, you want to put your best foot forward, Grammarly is your go-to. Download Grammarly for free.
Busog lang. Dito ka sa Makini Pansit Canton Kasalo Pack. Busog na, sa happiness pa!
everyone else exists. I don't imagine the Sahara being green affects much of ancient history. Mesopotamia, China, Persia, India, and Greece are so far away they aren't influenced by the Sahara having sand or not. But what about Egypt, you ask? Well, that's a bit trickier. Two things I theorize could occur. If Egypt still had a desert, say it's a continuation of that Middle East climate, Egyptian civilization might not be changed drastically at all. True, they'd have more invasions from the west, but otherwise, Their society doesn't need to be too different. If Egypt itself, however, was green, instead of sandy deserts, it's covered in grasslands, then this fundamentally changes Egyptian society. Their farming, structure, religion, government, everything is changed. First, they are much less stable. The desert was a natural defense that kept invaders out. Second, Egypt's population looks more spread out. It doesn't need to cling to the river. The Nile is still a good river, don't get me wrong, but most resemblance from the Egypt we know and love is entirely altered. As Tigerstar even pointed out to me, the sandstone needed to construct the pyramids wouldn't exist. So say goodbye to those. Going back to the Sahara itself, there's a wide range of possibilities for the type of civilization that would live here. If the rains were consistent and people could remain stationary, I don't see why city-states couldn't form on different rivers and lakes. In less consistent regions, now pastoral herders are more prevalent. The Sahara is so large and divided by mountains, I could see all of these groups forming and divided between various societies. That's the most interesting aspect of this scenario in my opinion. A whole new region with thousands of years of political history that otherwise would have just been sand in our timeline. It'd be its own distinct cultural region or multiple cultural regions on a massive continent just as China and India were. Now, who would be the people doing the fighting? First is the natives themselves. The Sahara could be divided into various groups who'd fight over whichever reasons. Second is invaders from the south and west. Empires like Mali or Ghana, fueled by their trade of gold and ivory. Third is Mediterraneans from the north. In ancient times, this could be Carthage. I doubt Carthage would have a far larger empire in Africa, however I think its economic and cultural influence would be profound in northern Sahara. Being a generally flat region with access to rivers and lakes, political boundaries will fluctuate a lot. Yet while troops can easily cross the savannas, so too can caravans. Trade builds relationships between different people more than anything else. Even if Carthage is still salted into the earth by an angry Rome, it would have only been the first Mediterranean empire to explore relations with the rich empires to the south. In our timeline, there were trade routes in the Sahara. While trade still flowed in this region, I'd imagine a green Sahara would make the passage far more safer and more accessible. Not to mention, with another region of empires in between Europe and sub-Saharan Africa, the journey isn't as daunting. The Sahara made sub-Saharan Africa pretty mysterious to Europeans. With easier trade routes, there is a consistent flow of trade and perhaps people from all regions going across from Europe to the Sahara to sub-Saharan Africa. Africa is far more prominent in Western history by the time of the Romans. Who knows what the Romans would even do? Perhaps want their own chunk of the Sahara? What remains is the constant of trade from the Golden Coast all the way up to Britannia. Another Silk Road. Now, due to time, I don't want to dedicate 20 minutes talking about literally every single detail. Tigerstar brought up about what could happen with imperialism. However, whenever I mention that, the comment section always turns horrendous, so let's end on a happy note. In a world where the Sahara was green, this area would certainly be its own cultural region with ancient empires like China and India. The grasslands would allow for easier trade access and greater connection between Africa and Europe. If this would end in conquest or genuine beneficial contact for both, I'll leave that for you to decide. The best prediction I can make is that Africa would be included more in the histories of Europe and Asia in cooperation between all. The Sahara was like an ocean. Sure, some people could cross it, but for many, they stayed on the other side. So if such a barrier was gone, there is endless possibilities for what such a culture in such a world would arise if the Sahara had never dried up. What do you think? Like this video and subscribe to support the channel if you have not done so. This is Cody of Alternate History Hub.
And then I sat back up, realizing that was a stupid idea to lean back like that without thinking about how close the window was. And then you spoke, and by that point, so much had changed.
I'm just imagining Dan Carlin narrating the history of your day, and he's like, little did Tigerstar know that his day would be forever changed when his tire went flat. tires were invented by the ancient Babylonians.
Oh, goodness.
And then over the history, we are now left in a 21st century Missouri. And Missouri was conquered in 1830 by the United States from the whatever tribe. And then this eventually has led to Tiger Star going into Walmart, a symbol of mass consumerism. And that's... Yeah. That's Dan Carlin.
It's lovely.
New Great Taste White. Mas creamy at mas makape.
Locked to traditional ways of paying? Unlock a fast and secure way with Union Bank Online. Yes, you can! Locked to over-the-counter check deposits? Unlock hassle-free mobile check deposits. Yes, you can! Locked to straight credit card purchases? Unlock easy conversion to installments. Yes, you can! With Union Bank Online, live a life unlocked.
Yo, yo, Paraka. Yo, yo, Paraka. The gang on the loose, nothing you can do. The beast on the move, bully coming through. Trigger, tracer, drifter coming through. Add the snake that makes Paraka crew. Yo, yo, Paraka. The gang on the loose, nothing you can do. You can try, but why? You know you're gonna lose. Yo, yo, Paraka. Yeah. Paraka on the street, it's time, tick-tocker. The gang is on the loose, and in school locker. At your home too, in your friend's room, nothing you can do. The gang is on the loose. Yo, yo, Paraka. Yo, I rap to the beat, the gang is on the loose. Paraka in the street, that's a lot of heat. The trigger, tracer, drifter, the snake, the beast, the bully, all that makes Paraka. Yo, yo, Paraka. Paraka, go Paraka, Paraka, go Paraka, Paraka, go Paraka, Paraka, go Paraka, ayo, go Paraka, let's go Paraka, ayo, go Paraka, go Paraka, go Paraka, let's go Paraka, ayo, go Paraka.
Even when your hope is gone, move along, just to make it through. When all you gotta keep is strong, move along, like I know not to. And even when your hope is gone, move along, just to make it through.
Bionicle.com presents new in Nika Heroes. Ask your parents' permission before going online. If I was this little guy, I would bite you so fucking hard. I would latch onto your flesh like a starved sandworm and bolt my 4 mandibles shut with the force of an adult pit bull until my teeth converged inside your meaty fucking tendons. You could waterboard me with isopropyl fucking alcohol and I wouldn't loosen my death grip. I would suck all of the nutrients from your soft tissues until you shrivel up into a sapless dehydrated husk and then crunch my teeth into your parched crust like a cicada shell. Fuck the Baraki. I am the real creep from the deep.
sabog ng back-to-back shifts? Babawi ka sa tibay with Bear Brand Sterilized.
Want to know my beauty hack? Not for my skin, for my smile. It's purple. Colgate Optic White Purple.
Purple color corrects yellow for a whiter smile.
My beauty hack for a whiter smile. Colgate Optic White Purple.
Our clients trust us to keep their sensitive information secure. Adobe Acrobat allows us to encrypt a PDF with a password, ensuring only the right people can access our files.
together! New Lucky Me Chicken Chili Mansi Mami.
You sent in a proposal, but your manager has so many questions. Uh-oh. Let's try again with Grammarly. First, Grammarly's AI finds opportunities to help your idea stand out and add details you missed, while keeping your manager in mind. Next, Grammarly makes the changes so your message can work its magic. Looking good, and it only took a few clicks. All right, let's wrap this up. Oops, almost forgot. And sent. You did it. One promotion coming up. Write what you need, get what you want. Download Grammarly today.
Ever wondered why your skin keeps acting up? Dryness, breakouts, irritation, even with a good routine? The answer might be in your skin's microbiome. Ponds flew us all the way to Thailand for something big, and trust me, it was worth the flight. IMCAS 2025, we got an exclusive first look at the Hydra Miracle Ultralight Biome Gel straight from the Unilever Science Lounge. This ultralight gel is powered by millions of prebiotics and High-amino, designed to rebalance your skin's microbiome, that invisible layer above your skin barrier, your first line of defense. Remember, an unbalanced microbiome means a compromised barrier, acne, dryness, and inflammation. But with Pond's Hydra Miracle Ultralight Biome Gel, you're getting stronger, plumper, radiant skin in just 7 days. The texture, ultralight. The results, plump, resilient, glowing skin. From imbalance to skin harmony, that's the Pond's promise.
Come on. What? Why? Just come on. Well. Come down here. Come on.
the time to decide. On our way to escape from the cavern, but I see there are chains on the wall. And now also tapping the souls. I read my dreams, and I let you on my page. But I swear to you on my front name, you'll open a mystical gate. From the holy street of golden flames, that's the last thing you need home. With this magic breath of innocence rising to
Get fresh after meals with Double Mint.
Let me get a punch. Let me just feel a punch. Let me get a punch. When a hook don't sleep, yeah, yeah, don't. When a hook don't sleep, yeah, yeah, don't. When a hook don't sleep, don't punch me. Don't keep getting me before I make you bleed. Pray for your rest in peace. It's the only piece that you need. Even a punch. This is the purge. Everybody, please, your purge. You heard me kick these people with my king pound. People like me pick a pack of bricks for a week, per day per minute. Rapper like me can pull and panic. Local bed for you need for the proof. Like when the price of jamming loose, array me roof from poor keep ham, a pie for food, to proof, like a right, like a fight, security, quote, poor. Eminem said, Millie Rabbit, no shit. You just killed it. Kevin said, but make you conscious.
The powerful energies of the furthest secret cosmos heard so the prayer of our mother Gaia, the supreme spirit who gave us the miracle of life, and her dark sun breathed new life. The power of the dragon flame was realizing what had seemed to be impossible.
And easy standing became all the legendary tale of the one who found the light and the dragon flame inside of the tragic rain of the thousand flames of the town's defenders who faced me of symphonies of enchanted lands of whispers of love and hate. The dawn of victory can breathe in the wheel, and this will be the great rebel. Reborn, the one who's keeping his life, the town's light on the crowd. Be one of us, and that as all the prophecies roll to mountains and valleys, to fire and snow, to sun, moon and wisdom, rise your soul is the
Oh no! Oh God! Oh God, no! What is happening? God. My God. It happened. It happened. Dargor mortally struck the Queen of the Dead and called the mighty gargoyles against the legions of darkness. He pushed Akron into the hands of the Nordic warrior, now a dying victim of terrible tortures. The chosen one let himself fall into the deep marshes constraining the Black King. With the emerald sword again in his hands, not to move, they became food for the snakes of the abyss. But this sacrifice had a terrific and great effect. And Akron's death meant the victory on the evil forces of abyss. Once, forever. Remember, proud brothers, everything is possible when you let the mystic power of the dragon flame burn in your heart. Believe it. It's the dragon flame.
Hello guys, ako si Alvin Patrimonio and welcome to the Goats Teach Codes. And for today's lesson...
Ano? Halika!
Uy! Silang pre! Nangyari?
Nakaka-bad trip, coach eh. Practice ako ng practice, di ko pa rin matama. Paano na kaya yung pick-up din natin na ito?
Silang pre! Baka kailangan mo na sports therapy. So, since kailan pa ito nangyayari sa'yo?
Parang nung bata pa ako, coach eh.
Huwag ka magalit sa mga bagay na di mo kayang i-control. Learn to let go.
Opo, coach.
Pero may isang pwede mo rin i-control. At yun yung protection against BO, sweat, and marks. Kaya ito. Woo! At ganyan, mag-stay cool pag bad trip ka.
W serii budowle z rumiankowego papieru za 6,95 wieża Babel, i nektarynki. Czy 89 kilo. Obcojęzyczni. Nektarynki. Tesco.
I'm bored. Tell me the worst lyric you've written that you actually thought was good at the time. I'm not talking real eyes, realize, real lies. I mean really awful. Everybody thinks they're a writer. No one ever thinks they are not. I don't know where 13-year-old me thought she was going with that, but you're no writer either, honey. Give it up. I was looking for a job and then I found a job. I wrote, and if speed equals distance divided by time, how long would it take for you to be mine? The world is a home, and I have two of those. I say that to this day. Not me, but my sister wrote, hide in the shadows 'cause I'm afraid of the stairs. I used to be at the top and now I'm falling down the stairs. I look into your eyes and know I have hemorrhoids. Hey, 8-year-old me? What? Wanna take a break, short intermission. Why she wanna split up like nuclear fission? Your words are like my kryptonite, and I don't wanna be at your crib tonight. These days I meditate next to rotisserie chickens at Walmart, 'cause peace is where you find it. Push me down the stairs, put me into despair, and now you think I'm gonna care? Your car smells like cannabis and Taco Bell. It was like 2 a.m. and I thought I was so profound. At 14, I was so convinced I could rap, knowing I only sing like Billie Eilish. I wrote, dressed up like a Barbie, they pulling up to the party. I'm the host, Steve Harvey. They trying to debate between Nicki M and Cardi. What you wanna say? You acting different, so you put it on a play. Sung with a bad country accent. My old lady left me, my dog died, my truck throwed a rod. So I'm crying in my Budweiser, wasting the night away. But my feelings all swirl like pulpy lemonade. Bro, what the fuck does that even mean? People out there cannot eat, so that is why I say we must feed the starving children before they go away. I was 11 and didn't want to mention them dying because I thought it would upset my mum. I know I'm a goddess, but you're an atheist. It's my dad. She's drinking again. 12-year-old me forgetting that I changed the gender of my character.
Sa bawat subo, ramdam ang sarapiness ng Lucky Me Pancit Canton.
You may now kiss the bride.
Toothache? May Bilis Relief Dolphinal. Unilab yan.
You can be a one-girl band, you can make the world expand! Doesn't he like Dua Lipa? And don't I look like Dua Lipa? So maybe if he saw me when I'm older, he'd like me. But I'm only 11, maybe not. This was about a 23-year-old YouTuber. Sickly sweet peach for brain. I don't know, it makes me cringe. Hold my hand so I can hold your hand too. We know, Sherlock. I see you in the bathroom every time I'm in the bathroom. Still asking for that iPhone 11. Don't even try, girl. At best, you're a 7. You think you're better than me just by counting to 3? You think you're safe in your little life? 10-year-old gotcha pilled me. I was a mermaid and you were a dead fish. People think this is okay. What the fuck, this is not okay. Genius rhymes right there. I like bouncing over the hills. I like bouncing whenever I feel okay. 7-year-old me. I see her, but I don't see her. They went to get a snack at midnight. In the middle of the night. Covers are ripped up like I love. A lyric in a love song I wrote when I was like 11. When I was 11, I wrote, my 2 cents worth feel more like a quarter. Put the hyper in hyperactivity disorder. Someone tranquilize me. I got a watch on my left hand. I'm a Royal Mail, like I'm driving in a red van. Really, I'm the lead soloist in this duet for 2. Doesn't even make sense. A case of lies that you throw like a bowling ball through striped and splintered time. I'm 7 steps behind wherever they go. You think we're playing chess? Girl, I'm playing tic-tac-toe. 12-year-old me. It's so hard to be kind to an unfinished painting. See the beauty in an unpainted bowl. What does this even mean? Was I going for some kind of metaphor? They say mind over matter, but my mind is what's the matter. I'm so scary, even the Grinch is afraid of me. Being me was like white rice on a diet. It depends on portion sizes. Gloriously shite.
I scream, you scream, it's in my bloodstream, taking a pipe bomb to my teenage pipe dream.
You call yourself a lover, but you just love to hate. I wake up with morning breath, and I'm still mourning the death of my lover. When I map it out in my head, I can always arrive, but in the moment I realize I can't even drive. If I could fly away, I would, but I can't, so here I stay. I still chuckle at that. Sometimes I wonder if there are angels up there playing card games with people's souls. Maybe we are just two cards of hearts matched together by the maker of the rules. Like, what headspace was I in? For my English 9, I wrote for my poetry class.
I'm riding in the biggest claim at the airport. I must have gone around 100 times, but no one picked me up.
She's so charming, she's so sweet. She knows something about everything. She's intelligent, I'm so not. And I'm just not. And I don't know much of anything. I'm just deficient. I woke up in a sinkhole, that's what he said when he woke up. Then he turned over to check his phone. I do not know what I was thinking. Not me, but my friend wrote, "You're so unstable like a table with no legs. Crack open that bottle as I stare into your soul. My thoughts will drown cause now you're in control. I'll do whatever you say, I'm memorized. I'm only focused on getting myself baptized. It's a pretty easy decision, cause your voice itself is a religion." Who are you talking about? You're 13. I was getting better, I was getting used to it, but now they changed the weather and I don't have the clothes for it. I thought I was cooking 2 years ago. Oh wow, the trees, they talk green, and thus my soil cries inclusion, and sky be blue, blue moon, stars, stars. Was I low-key drunk? I loved my whimsy. My gold is in the fish, my worth is in my mouth. Money can be green and the grass can be too. All that it takes is for me to try to see life in green. I was eating goldfish. Your name's still fogged on the window. I don't wipe it off. You said soon, but that's not a number. Like, bro, what? A picture's worth 1,000 words, but is it worth 1,000 moments? Every second changes. Me at 14, I thought it was so philosophical. It was not. Everyone knows how photos work. What does this even mean? Remember that guy with that face and that thing? What was it? I don't know, but I know that it was a real cool sight. Smoke vanilla cigarettes like a green jellyfish. You know that hips don't lie, but they're telling a fib. You look like a brain with a blue pair of lips, and that is how the story goes. With all due respect to 16-year-old me, what does that mean? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making this. I'm no musician, I'm no singer, but I had fun making these song instrumentals and singing and rapping poorly funny song lyrics for you. If you have any song lyrics from your past that you used to think were so good, but now you realize they were kinda horrible, I'd love it if you commented them because, you know, maybe a few months from now, I'll come back here and make another video with your lyrics. Let me know which one of these in the video was your favorite. It's hard for me to choose out of all 58 of them, I believe. But I can tell you one thing I like, and that is you, the viewers. So allow me to take the time to thank my Patreon members, my Little Ruse, Nebulatic Vexen, Donka42, John Huang, Laser Scorpio, Night Avenger, Mintara, Somnophobic Danny, Savage Otters, Valzy, Terabyte AIX, Kestrel, Dragonborn Canid, Angie Ender, and Marbsk. Thank you so much for extra support on Patreon. It means the world to me. You guys are awesome, and hope you enjoyed the extra little videos and stuff you get on Patreon every once in a while. If you have any requests, just message me on there. And the same thanks to my YouTube channel members, my Mini Ruse, Foxstar Killer, Rainy Cant, and Elelowin North 24. Thank you so much for extra support. I'm so glad to have you be part of my YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. Your presence fills my soul with music. Is that a good way to tie my thanks into the theme of this video? I don't know, but I am really grateful for you guys, so thanks for being here. And of course, last but not least, thank you to everyone else for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, leave your comments on your own bad lyrics or which one in the video you liked the most. Or you can just roast my singing skills, that's fine. Whether you're laughing at the video or you're laughing at how bad I am at making the video, at least you laughed, and that's all that matters to me. So I'll see you in the next one, and until then, may all your wishes come true, because you deserve joy, so treat yourself kindly, and bye-bye for now.
Colgate Optic White Purple.
Purple color corrects yellow for a whiter smile.
Exit na po. Ay, bitin. Ito, hindi bitin. All new Jollibee Burger Steak. Bigger patty na. More sauce pa. Sarap. Kasi ayaw naming mapitin ka.
Hey guys, so this episode is going to be filmed in my office because I didn't have time to book the YouTube space. This is going to be a special one. It's not very often we cover a place like Nauru. Usually we get you guys, the Geography peeps, to help out with these videos, but sadly, not a single Nauruan was available to contact us. No surprise, I mean, there's not many in the world and it's kind of hard to find them or visit them. Like, literally, this is the least visited country in the world. So now, we cover Nauru.
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Yes, it's pronounced Nauru, not Nauru. The Pacific Islands are always so fun to research because they really are like the hidden gems concealed within the massive expanse of seemingly endless ocean. And with Nauru, you find a new type of gem that nobody quite knows how to classify. But it's shiny. Let's go treasure hunting on the map now, shall we? Linguists speculate that the name Nauru may be derived from the Nauruan word Anaoero, which means I go to the beach. Of course, most island nations have beaches, but the ones on Nauru are sectioned off in a special way. First of all, the country is literally just one island located on the confluence of all three oceanic regions of Oceania: Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. However, categorically, they belong to the region of Micronesia, not to be confused with the Federated States of Micronesia, which is a country within Micronesia. We already talked about it. Anyway, the country is the smallest country in Oceania at only about 8.1 square miles or 21 square kilometers. The entire perimeter of the country is only about 12 miles or 19 kilometers long. That means you could literally take a nice morning jog around the entire island and make it back in time for lunch just a few hours later. The country is divided into 14 administrative districts. However, when election time rolls around, the country is divided into 8 constituencies to send representatives to the parliament. And this is where things get weird. Nauru is the only country in the world that doesn't have an official capital. Most sources will tell you that it's Yaren simply because that's where the parliament and administration buildings are, as well as the only airport on the island, Nauru International. However, it is only the de jure capital and only listed as a main district. With only about 1,300 people, Yaren is actually the third largest town on the island, the largest actually being Arijejen in Iwo with a whopping 2,400 people, and Menen in the Meneng district with about 1,400. Aside from the airport, coming into Nauru by boat is nearly impossible for large commercial ships, as the entire country is surrounded by jagged, sharp coral reefs that have been known to puncture hulls, which is why they have no major seaport. There are only 2 small harbors able to accommodate small or medium-sized boats, one at Anibare on the east side at Anibare Bay, and another one on the town of Iwo on the west side of the island. Right below that harbor, though, you see these strange, long, extending pier-looking things and think, oh, isn't that like a shipping port? Well, no. Those are actually really long phosphate cantilever booms that were used to transport phosphate minerals to large ships out to sea past the coral wall. There's another one further south that is currently being disassembled, as neither of them are being used much anymore. Otherwise, getting around Nauru is pretty easy. I mean, it's just one island, unlike those confusing disjointed atolls in Kiribati or Tuvalu. Having one solid chunk of land is quite advantageous in the Pacific because it keeps you stable and strong. The country has a single paved road that goes around the entire nation, known as the Island Ring Road. It takes just about an hour to go around the entire country by car, and if you want to take public transport, a community bus goes around once every hour or so for less than $1 in fare. There is only one traffic light at the airport to allow planes to cross the road into the airport terminal. Otherwise, you can take the rugged, unpaved gravel path road shortcuts through the interior of the island to get to the other sides if you prefer. Not very popular, but still possible. On these paths, you can pass the Nauru detention centers, which are sites that cooperate with the Australian government to detain illegal immigrants. We'll explain more about this later. The country does have 3 miles of rail track reserved for phosphate transport, and sometimes people cling onto this train to move back and forth from the coast of Iwo to the inland mining areas. Yeah, they actually have a train, and it's still kind of running. Nonetheless, Nauru is definitely not quite the tourist hotspot. Annually, the country receives on average less than 1,000 tourists a year, sometimes as low as 200. Speaking of which, if you are one of the lucky few that treks over here, some spots of interest might include places like Yaren's Parliament Building, Buada Lagoon, the Mocha Well and Caves, Frigate Bird Games, Anabare Bay, the Central Plateau known as Topside, the old World War II artillery bunkers near Yaren, the Link Belt Oval Sports Field where you can play sports, and of course there's scuba diving everywhere. Alright, so that pretty much rounds up this segment. Let's see what type of landscape they have on this one little island, shall we? Well, this is going to be interesting because we only have about 8 square miles of land to work with. How can we possibly extract a complex data analysis on such a limited surface area? I've been doing this show for years, guys. Watch me. First of all, Nauru sits on the middle of the southern Pacific plate, only about 34 miles, 56 kilometers away from the equator. Out of all the islands in Oceania, Nauru sticks out as one of the 3 great phosphate rock islands. The first one being Kiribati's Banaba Island, right next door, and Makatea Island, over 3,000 miles away across the international dateline on Makatea Island in French Polynesia. Why do they have so much phosphate? Simple! Bird poop! Over thousands of years, guano droppings in the inland areas from migrating birds have accumulated, making these islands super rich in the limited resource. Going back to Nauru though, after we pass the jagged coral reef barrier, you see that the entire coastal ring around Nauru, about 300 meters inland, is the most fertile part of the country. If you look over here in the south though, you'll see Buada Lagoon, the largest inland body of water. Nauru has no rivers or streams, which means the majority of people depend on either rain collection storage tanks on their roofs for water, or 3 desalination plants located at the National Utilities Agency. If you move inland further from that though, you'll notice the green fertile strip ends and you reach the grassy, shrubby Central Plateau. Composed of coral ridges and cliffs, the highest point being Command Ridge at about 233 feet, 71 meters high. This is the phosphate zone, where all the phosphate was mined over the past few decades. Whew, yeah, I mean, quite a backstory, right? I mean, at one point in 1968, they actually had the highest GDP in the world after they opened up the mines, but now after almost all the phosphate deposits have been depleted, yeah, not so much. Alright, and there's the part where Noah usually comes in for the physical geography section. However, he's not here because I kind of forgot to tell him at the last minute that we're going to film at my house. Which means, Ken, you're going to have to be Noah today.
Nice! Wait, is this a promotion?
Yeah.
No, wait, really?
Yeah, you're promoting the information about Nauru to our viewers, and get to it, they're waiting.
Nauru knew that their finite phosphate deposits would eventually run thin, so in order to cushion their transition period from overdependence, they decided to invest heavily into trust funds. The problem was, many of these funds ended up being mismanaged and wasteful investments almost until they went bankrupt. They've tried to become a finance haven, but too many controversies ensued, so they had to drop it. Since 2004, they have been a cash-only exclusive economy. This means you could only use cash on the island. So if you visit, get your major ATM transactions in order before boarding the plane, because none exist on the island. Resource-wise, other than the nearly depleted phosphate reserves, all that really got going for them is fishing, and minor crops that grow on the island like coconuts and fruits. In the Buada Lagoon, they do practice aquaculture by raising native milkfish. It's a tradition that actually predates European contact. Nonetheless, nearly all basic and capital goods must be imported mostly from Australia and New Zealand. Otherwise, with food, it gets kind of fatty. Most grocery stores have to wait 6 weeks for every shipment. People either have to get their food what's from available on the island, or stock up on non-perishables that might not have the highest nutritional content. A typical traditional Nauruan meal would probably include grilled or fried fish. Coconut milk is used very often, and possibly some pandanus or pineapple used in some way. However, the majority of the country prefers to eat Western or Eastern foods regularly. There are over 130 Chinese restaurants on the island. Burgers, pizza, and spam fried rice are typically seen in many houses.
Ah, spam. America invented it, but Asia glorified it.
This typical diet has been one of the many factors that has led to Nauru becoming what the World Health Organization labels as the most obese country in the world, with over 70% of their inhabitants being categorically obese and 94% overweight. Some of the people here, though, need to be big because it works to their advantage. But that's a topic later we will discuss in...
Ken. Follow him on Instagram. And, off you go. Now, Nauru is kind of like, I don't know, what's a good analogy? It's like one of those shrines in the middle of the Patagonian desert in Argentina. You know, they're so far out and remote, very few people stop by and visit them, yet as small as they are, they're packed with fascinating backstories. Yeah, I think that works. First of all, the country has about 11,300 people and is the third least populated nation in the world after Tuvalu and Vatican City. About 60% of the people in Nauru are ethnically Nauruan, about a quarter are other Pacific Islanders, 8% are European, and about 8% are Han Chinese. They use the Australian dollar as their currency, they use a Type I plug outlet, and they drive on the left side of the road. Now here's the thing, let's talk about the largest ethnic group, the Nauruans. If you include the entire global diaspora, it's estimated that there are about 15,000 Nauruans in the entire world. Apart from the 6,000 or so Nauruans, about 1,000 live in Australia and about 8,000 in the US, meaning that there are actually more Nauruans outside of Nauru than in it. But what exactly is a Nauruan? You know what, Ken is usually like the island guy, so you know what, Ken, just explain what a Nauruan is.
Alright, Nauruans are in themselves kind of a cultural anomaly. They are genetically kind of a mix between Micronesian and Polynesian. They don't even know exactly where they belong. Although everyone on the island speaks English, the Nauruans' mother tongue is Nauruan, obviously. Linguists say it is technically classified as a Micronesian language, but most Micronesians can't understand them. Historically, the populace prior to outside immigrations was divided into these 12 tribes, each with a matrilineal inheritance.
Thank you, Ken. I'll take it from here. Now, in terms of the tribes, they each kind of had their own section of the island and developed their own unique customs, one of which being the Nauruan navigational system. It's a unique way of expressing cardinal direction that can only be used on the island. There are 4 main directions that cover a quadrant of the island, and a 5th and 6th direction that traverses the interior. Sadly, over time, many of the traditions were lost to Western influence. Pictures were taken of Nauruan warriors in the 1800s with armor made of thick coconut fibers and pufferfish helmets, similar to the ones we talked about in the Kiribati episode. The traditional music style called Tegan is usually performed at celebrations. And finally, every so often, certain fishers still practice trained frigate bird fishing. Otherwise, Nauruans love AFL, rugby, weightlifting. Sometimes weightlifting is considered the national sport. Even women take part in it. Keep in mind, in 2001, Nauru also signed the Pacific Solution Agreement with Australia, which opened up a detention center to hold people that were illegally trying to enter into Australia by sea for asylum. This means, in addition to the population that lives there permanently, Nauru has a temporary fluctuating population of detainees at any given moment. The highest amount of people held at once was 1,233 in 2014, and at the end of 2018 there were about 30. And speaking of dates and times, history, in the quickest way I can put it. Micronesian and Polynesians settle in and mix. They have babies. Boom, Nauruans are born. The 12 tribes are set. British whalers stop by and start trading. Boom, tribal war in 1878. Germans come in and annex it. They establish kings. Phosphate discovered by this dude. World War I, Australia captures it. Influenza epidemic. Japan takes over in World War II. They relocate a ton of Nauruans to Chuuk Island. Australia fights them off. About 800 Nauruans repatriate back to Nauru. 1968 independence. They get super rich, but then kind of lose it all. Current dealings with Australia to move forward. And here we are today. Now this is kind of the part where I talk about notable famous people, and it's interesting because almost all the famous people from Nauru have held a position in government. Yeah, it gets interesting. So here we go. King Aweda, Hammer de Robert, Marlene Moses, Kirin Keke, David Ariang, Ite Datanamo, Alopua Petoa, Yukio Peter, Rihanna Solomon. Yeah, and their former president was an Olympic athlete and he won 7 gold medals at the Commonwealth Games. Later he resigned because of a scandal, but look at him lift! Speaking of the Commonwealth and activities with other countries abroad. When it comes to diplomacy, Nauru is kind of like in the middle of so many tug-of-wars, and they don't really care who says what, just as long as you can kind of invest in the nation, they'll be happy. For one, they generally get along with their other ocean neighbors, like Kiribati, the Federated States of Micronesia, and the Solomon Islands. Fiji, however, kind of acts as like their hub and gateway to the world. Most flights to Nauru operate through Fiji, and most Nauruans travel to Fiji to further invest in their schools and education. When it comes to the big guys, though, Nauru has a bit of controversy. They are one of the only 4 nations that recognizes Abkhazia and South Ossetia as independent nation states, to which Russia, in appreciation, gave over $50 million in humanitarian aid in return. In 1981, they did once recognize the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, but then in 2000, they withdrew the tie in favor to signing accords with Morocco, who wanted to invest in their already depleting phosphate mines. When they joined the UN, they at first recognized and supported Taiwan as a nation state, but then in 2002, they switched that up and signed an agreement to recognize the PRC instead, which really pissed off Taiwan Taiwan, and they cut ties. 1 year later though, Nauru was like, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I changed my mind again, and they closed their embassy in Beijing, prompting a re-establishment of ties to Taiwan in 2005. When it comes to their best friends, however, many Nauruans would probably say Australia. Australia is kind of like the caregiver that provides most of their business and aid. Most of the imports come from Australia, and foreign ministers have worked together to find solutions to develop new streams of revenue to keep the nation afloat. Apart from the Pacific solution, some other ideas include things like a potential boat repair industry and reclaiming the damaged land for other uses. In conclusion, it doesn't matter if it's just a single little green dot in the vast wide ocean, Nauru can still stand up and say, now we are here, now we are free, and now is Nauru's time to shine. Stay tuned, Nepal is coming up next.